sometimes step up and help one of our friends, isn't it? Glad you're with us here on this Friday, everybody. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampur. Yes, thanks for joining us. And just a heads up here, you're going to see some fog in some parts of San Diego.
Right.
So let's show you some of this video. This was the drive in Mission Valley. It's kind of hard to see the street signs, and that's a big problem, of course. If you want to try to exit, it may be tough to actually view the signs with visibility so low. And then another foggy view for you. This would be, I believe, in Kearny Mesa. So that's where you'll notice it here and there throughout our county at this hour.
North County, I didn't really see anything.
Okay,
so
good.
It's kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah, not as far inland, I would say. The 15 doesn't seem to be as big of a problem. That's the airport. Somewhere in there is a runway. So, may impact your flights. We do have a dense fog advisory through 10 o'clock this morning. So that's why, you will want to check your flights if you have an early one. We tend to see, delays because of this. It's hard to fly in and out of that, as you can imagine. And a lot of the fog is coming in from a coastal eddy that formed just off our coast. We have an area of low pressure way up north. So it's bringing in more of that onshore flow, and then the clouds are sitting really low. Otay Mesa, visibility down to a third mile. You're just at 1 mile in IB, about that for downtown San Diego as well. So we'll keep an eye on it all for you. I will say traffic-wise, I don't see any major issues at this hour. Let me get to that map real quick. And there you go. Yeah, no major accidents, no slowdowns. So it looks like the fog has not caused any major problems, but hopefully that means people are taking it easy and going slow this morning.
This morning, dozens of San Diego City employees are at risk of getting fired if they do not comply with the city's vaccine mandate soon.
But they still have a chance to keep their jobs if they want them. They'll just have to follow certain rules. News 8's Evan Narani joining us live with where things stand now and what they now need to do. Good morning, Evan.
Yeah, good morning. That's right. About 1,200 of the city's 11,300 employees are unvaccinated. And yesterday, about 100 of them, nearly 100 of them, received that advance letter of termination, meaning if they don't choose to comply with that vaccine mandate, they will have their job lost. Now, the thing to keep in mind here is the city is giving them options along the way. And the mayor says right now, while he is concerned about the number of employees who are unvaccinated, he is more concerned right now with the more than 300 city employees who currently have COVID-19.
Is concerning. It is a problem, and that's precisely why we have this mandate. While we may have hundreds of employees who are testing positive, because the vast majority, again, more than 88% are vaccinated, I believe that they will be healthy shortly, and they'll be able to return to work shortly.
Now, the letter lays out the options that they have. They can get vaccinated, they can apply for a personal or religious exemption, request reasonable accommodation, retire, or take leave without pay. Several employees who have received the letters have said they've already moved forward with getting their vaccine in order to keep their jobs. The mayor says that employees who choose to not do anything in this process will then receive that actual letter of termination along the way. But important to also keep in mind that of those 1,200 employees that are unvaccinated, nearly 1,000 of them have already applied for personal or religious exemptions. The county and the state, actually the city, I should say, says that they will be dealing with those exemption requests on a case-by-case basis. On Harbor Island, I'm Evan Narani, News 8.
Evan, thank you. 184 personnel with the San Diego Fire Rescue Department are now in COVID isolation. That number includes 156 firefighters, 14 lifeguards, and 14 civilians. The department has taken multiple engines and special units out of service due to this staffing shortage. And tomorrow, they will temporarily move administrative staff to the frontline positions. 5 SDFD employees received advance notices of termination from the city because of the vaccine mandate, but all have opted to get the shot. This morning, the Supreme Court will look at the federal government's COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Justices will hear arguments about whether to allow the Biden administration to enforce a vaccine or testing requirement that applies to large employers. They will also discuss a separate vaccine mandate for health care providers who get funding through Medicare or Medicaid. The states that are challenging the mandates believe they're unconstitutional because they disregard state sovereignty. But the Department of Justice will argue the mandates are critical to the country's COVID-19 response as well as recovery.
The U.S. Postal Service working with the Biden administration to send at-home COVID-19 test kits. According to the Washington Post, the two are finalizing plans to send those 500 million kits to households across the country. The goal is to begin shipping these tests by mid-January, so hopefully in about a week. You'll be able to request the tests online. A formal announcement is expected next week. And this morning, 2 South Bay school districts will be handing out these at-home testing kits in preparation for the new semester. Distributions will be held at each school in the Sweetwater district from 9 a.m. to noon or until their supplies run out. So if you have students in these districts, heads up here. Students or parents can pick them up. The San Ysidro School District is also handing out kits at San Ysidro Middle School. That's across from the district office starting at 9 a.m. Classes will resume for them on Monday, and Sweetwater begins on Tuesday. So you'll need those kits very quickly here. UC San Diego is extending remote instruction until the end of the month. Officials say it's due to the rise in COVID cases and their staffing shortages, and to give anyone who has COVID more time to recover. Campus housing and dining remain open, but all new undergraduate residents will still need to do a PCR test upon arrival and then a second test within 24 hours.
Today marks 1 year since Maya Miliete went missing. The mother of 3 last seen days before a planned trip for her daughter's birthday. Her remains have not been located despite weekly searches by lots of volunteers. Her husband, Larry Miliete, is facing murder charges in the case. Tomorrow, a prayer vigil will be held in her honor. It will be held at Chula Vista Community Park starting at 4 p.m., and the event is open to the public. The suspect accused of killing a man by pushing him into a moving train will appear in court today after his arraignment was postponed. Detectives say the victim, 68-year-old Martin Andara, had just stepped off a trailer in Old Town on Saturday when a man pushed him without provocation. Andara's family and friends gathered for a vigil last night.
He's a great inspiration for a lot of people. He's a great inspiration for me. He really built the foundation for his family, for me. So I will take and continue what my father was to my family.
Police say surveillance video helped them arrest 26-year-old Ryan Rickstellis, who now faces charges of first-degree murder. Sanitation workers are back on the picket line after rejecting a new contract offer by their employer. 250 union members have been on strike for 3 weeks now. They're demanding better pay, safer working conditions, and new trucks from Republic Services while the garbage has been piling up around the county. The company says it's disappointed the union rejected the contract. Take a look at our forecast here outside. A little fog to start.
Yeah, and you see that right here. This is downtown San Diego, and you can barely see it. But, you know, obviously it will be tough to drive through this, tough for planes likely to access the airport and leaving the runway. So definitely you want to check with your flights this morning, make sure they're not delayed. And as you see, it's really right along the coast, the Embarcadero, and then south of downtown. This is the view of the South Bay from San Miguel. So for right along that coast, we're getting a lot more of that denser fog, and it's fairly clear right along the foothills of the mountains, up in the mountains and the deserts. Here's our advisory, so it does extend, you know, to the 905 through Otay, but then up north it does not extend all the way to the 15. So Escondido, Poway, it looks to be fine, but Oceanside stretching all the way to IB. We're definitely noticing some issues. Visibility less than a quarter in some areas, so it's kind of patchy in nature. You'll drive a mile and then it'll clear up and then come right back. So hazardous driving. That does mean go slow. Please use don't use your high beams, excuse me. Use the low lights. I need to fix that immediately. Also leave space between you and the car in front of you. So yes, low beams only, or regular lights that you would use. High beams could definitely blind people that may be driving, you know, alongside you. Here's a look at where the fog is right now. We're looking at less than 1 mile downtown. Same within Imperial Beach. And then Otay Mesa, it's at a third of a mile visibility. So that's a big spot that the clouds are just sitting really low, hovering right over Brownfield. So if that's part of your commute this morning, definitely take your time, give yourself plenty of time. It's Friday, don't rush. 42 degrees at Poway right now, 40 in Escondido, 49 in Chula Vista. We are warmer this morning for many areas where the clouds are hanging around, and then you're slightly cooler in Oceanside by a couple degrees. Your afternoon will be getting to the low 60s, maybe mid 60s for some inland areas today. You'll see a little bit of sunshine by 10, 11 o'clock once the cloud coverage disappears, and then clouds will roll back in later on tonight. In fact, later tonight, we have a chance for this light drizzle, some misty activity. That's all we're expecting here by 7, 8 p.m. and then through about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. These little spots of light green, that's all we're expecting. So it's not going to be a major system by any means. There's a bigger system to the north, and that's just pushing in onshore flow and the marine layer. And a check of traffic right now does show that things are looking very calm. I apologize. Let me get to that. Here we go. I don't see any accidents, so that's always a good thing. Kind of Friday light conditions, at it looks like. The only thing I'm noticing, of course, would be this yellow patch, which indicates foggy conditions right along the border there. Going into San Ysidro and then all the way to Otay as well, you will definitely notice a lot of that.